Yes. Blue Stally. Blue Stally.
Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories. Lost in time, racing all these broken dreams tonight. Yeah. Sunlight is not enough. We could burn like a flame through the atmosphere. Yeah. Starlight, it's calling us. Leave the ghosts of our past in the stratosphere. Oh yeah, yeah. It's calling us. It's calling us. It's calling us. and I'm hypnotized. I'm hypnotized. Oh, I know that I love you even though you'll get me killed one day. But when we lock eyes and your smile's shining bright, I'll do anything you say, 'cause I'm hypnotized. I'm hypnotized. I'm hypnotized by the light in your eyes. I seem to always find myself in a bind with you. So stomp your feet to the sound of all your burdens crashing down, 'cause I belong to you. I'm hypnotized. Oh, I know that I love you even though you've changed everything in my life. Oh, I know that I love you even though I seem to be hypnotized. I think I'm starting to lose my mind because this precarious situation that we find ourselves in means that it's only a matter of time before a storm of wonder starts to fill my mind. And for the first time in a long time, you're the first one to make me feel like I want you more than I know. I cannot take my eyes off of you. If you're a storm, I'll dance in the rain and hold on, I'll hold on, I'll hold on by my fingertips. Maybe I've already lost my mind, ever gotten so lost in the dark that you forget who you really are? Have you ever wondered so much for the end that you forget how it begins? It's the look in your eyes when you look at me, when I touch your heart and I feel it beat, when I brush my hand up against your face to wipe your tears clean. It's not the end when
And welcome back to Next Gen Broadcasting. We're watching an ESEA Open game with Hadouken versus Faded Esports on Overpass. Hadouken to win the knife round, so it looks like they will be picking CT. Yeah, that is the favoured side on Overpass. We've got 10 promising players. Live match starting already. Interesting to see what Hadouken will buy, how many will go for utility. It's looking like only one person with no armor and a kit and 2 flashes. I actually enjoy the kit 2 flashes over a smoke or a Molotov or a nade, simply because it's very easy to wait out that one piece of utility. It won't get too much done. Even a nade won't do too much against the armor. Can be well placed, but he's still going for headshots. But they're going to go quickly into B. A B split, 2 short, 3 monster, and an immediate headshot from Lucid. That's a good way to start, and that's another one from Scruffy. That's 2 more from Scruffy. That's incredible. Perfect way to start it off, and that's going to be nearly a clean round for all of them. 2 down by Tej. That's a good way to refrag, but he's now in a 1v3. Not sure how well he'll be able to take it off. He does have what he needs, but that's the flank by Space Cadet, and he's down. Easy first round for Hadouken. Absolute surgery there with how Scruffy was landing those headshots.
Was indeed a very clean round. They didn't get the plant down, so they're probably going to force up here. And
yeah, Faded going for the full force here. Spider keeping 600, Tej keeping 400, Access keeping 200 on them, potentially trying to save some utility. It looks like they're only committing to damage the economy of the CTs, not actually winning the round. You never know what could happen, particularly if Access is landing 1 digs like that. Zuko spraying through the smoke a little bit just to see what he can get done, but no one's peeking him there. Now there's a double stack there, but Cry with a quick kill as well on Pineapple. That's a 4v3 for them. Great way to outweigh them with the numbers. Quick trade back by the SMGs on Lucid and ZKD. It's now a 2v3 very suddenly, but Access getting a kill back, making it a 2v2. He's actually almost favoured in this with the Deagle. He can stutter step, take those one-shots, those pot shots. If he gets a lucky headshot, that will completely turn the round around. But they've spotted ZKD getting into these sandbags. Access getting another frag already, but Scruffy cleaning it up. A lot more expensive than Hadouken would have liked, and exactly what Faded were going for. It's a shame they didn't quite get the plant, but
Faded did.
That's definitely a successful round.
If they hadn't left the bomb behind, they might have gotten the plant down and won that after plant.
Yeah, they did have people right on B site before they started trying to retake short from Hadouken. But now it's looking like a full eco, your standard B rush, get it over and done with. They've got a single smoke, not sure where that's gone yet. See where it lands, probably the site to see if they can secure a plant. Yeah, they've blocked off Heaven with that, but it's a slaughter. It's a slaughter. The 2 SMGs coming in, and that's 5 kills for SMG, $600 a piece. 3 grand in the bank for them.
Hadouken sitting on a large bank at the start of this first buy round. Let's see if their economy will continue to be strong.
Yeah, and it is a perfect way to start it off. Interestingly, Zuko with the Scout. Obviously didn't have enough money to buy an AWP, doesn't want to go for the rifle, so he's got a Scout, a Deagle, and full utility. Perhaps leaning itself towards a full execute that they've got in mind. The Scout, obviously, and the Deagle combine quite well. The Scout leaves them on 20 to 30 health, and the Deagle can wrap it up from most ranges. Tej, however, has no armor at all. Not even a vest. We'll see how interestingly that plays out, because that aim punch could rip him apart. And another interesting point is there's only 3 kits on Hadouken. That could bite them, despite all of them have 3,500 or more. Only 3 kits. Also kept 4 of the SMGs, so if Faded are wise about this, they might be able to take some long engagements where those SMGs aren't favored. But Scruffy playing with the smoke gets the first frag. Perfect with the M4. And that hasn't revealed that they've kept as many SMGs as they have, but there's another one from Lucid, keeping that in check, keeping a second kill with them. Scruffy taking a fair bit of damage, they'll potentially consider switching, but even then, a 5-on-3 now for Hadouken. A great first buy round. That's with keeping all the SMGs as well. They have heard the sound he made. But Space Cadet to take one out. Spider with a quick double though. Great spray transfer from him. Taking Connector, putting it into a 2v3 where suddenly it's Hadouken with the bad guns, but that doesn't matter when they're flanked. Hadouken, Pineapple taking one out. Now it's a 3v1.
And there's no time.
Very, very straightforward round for them.
Bombs down in the second.
And look at Pineapple just playing with them. You're right. Bombs down, no time, and Pineapple just wasting it all. I think he was trying to make sure that the time ran out completely, but I don't quite think it made it to running out. Just to make sure that he had no money. Unfortunately, had to take the kill before that happened, but still a fantastic first buy round for them. And again, they've gone with... Oh no, they have bought a 5th kit. Faded.
That was a miss by Tej. Not having armor on the first buy round. It seems maybe he accidentally bought a few too many nades on the force buy round they had.
Yeah, potentially. Might have also dropped for a teammate. I didn't quite catch that, but look at Faded now. Very much on the back foot. 3 deagles, 2 pistols, 5 upgraded pistols, just 1 set of armor, and Scruffy to take the first one. That one's easy. A quick peek from Access to see if he can get info, maybe even get a quick frag, but it's not to be. And now there's been a smoke thrown. I think that was by Hadouken. I don't think they had any other smokes other than the one on Zuko. And they're playing a slow round, trying to see if they can get any picks with these deagles, which is exactly what you want to be doing with them. Those one-shots can be lethal.
Hadouken is playing passive on the A side, not opting for that connector control, knowing that they're the pistols.
And Scruffy with a fantastic collateral with the AWP there. Very well done from him. It is on an eco, but that's got to be demoralizing for them. That's got to sting. The last 2 players on 34, 32 health each. This round is not looking like a favorable one.
Especially with much utility left.
There's Tej swinging wide, getting sprayed down immediately. 32 health, no armor. That's an easy kill. They all know where Cry is as well. He's just hoping he can get 1 or 2 frags as he leaves this round, but with no armor, 28 health, he'll likely just be 1 shot to the body.
The CT is...
However, he comes close to killing ZKD as he comes through the smoke.
I thought the CTs might wait there. With him boxed in like that, they had the opportunity to wait and kill him after time.
And that would guarantee that he doesn't have anything but a pistol in the next round. Maybe a Galiliad, something like 3,000 before the round ended. That would have been a very wise play. Even better, I would say, than running through the smoke where Cry nearly ended up getting the body spray. However, they still pick it up. Clean round, 4 people left alive, and that's the start of a good economy. But Cry opening up with a pick there. Scruffy getting a bit too ambitious in his early peaks, and Cry anticipating it perfectly, taking the frag. It's now a 4v5, and Lucid taking a lot of damage early as well. ZKD going down to Zuko. Suddenly it's a 5v3 in Faded's favor. Very quick how they've turned this around. Their last buy round was looking the exact opposite situation, but now they're the ones in control. They've got the leading foot. Now it looks like all of Hadouken are grouped towards B here. Potentially they'll early call save if they're not able to get anything. I don't think they'll know just how heavily tagged both Zuko and Spider are. If they do find either one of them, though, they might commit to it, and they might even be favored with how low these players are. It's definitely something they could go for, but Pineapple taking a shot, just a tiny bit of his head going, and Access spraying through the smoke there, pre-aiming that angle. Space Cadet couldn't have done anything, and Lucid going down to the lurk by Spider. This round is, well, you'd consider it over, but Pineapple with the AWP there could make some magic, and it's not to be. Instead, the Kobe basketball skills come out and slam dunk a nade onto him. 27 damage from that one, and ends the round cleanly for Faded.
But due to their very clean rounds earlier, with keeping a lot of cash, they will be able to rebuy this round, and should have just as good of an opportunity to stop their the next buy round from the T side, and hopefully, due to Cry being AFK and spawn, Scruffy's probably going to win any AWP trades that he picks.
Yeah, they do. It does seem like he's either disconnected or I'm not quite sure what's going on. His ping hasn't gotten out of control, but Auto Director does love to see what's going on with him. Fantastic work from Access, though, to open up the round. A quick headshot from him. It's now effectively what you could call a 4v4. Fortunately, Cry hasn't needed to rebuy armor or weapons up. And he's gone. Potentially kicked for being AFK or something like that. I was going to say, if he does come back midway through the round, he's at least going to be relevant with that AWP and armor. He won't be gimping the team with just a Glock, no armor. But of course, he has gone, and now that Hadouken no, Pineapple getting aggressive, pushing up long, taking that headshot on access. It's now a 4v3. Very nicely done by him. Very good sense to push when he knows that they won't have an AWP. It's unlikely they'll have anyone holding long, and ZKD with a follow-up on Spider. They're pushing and getting the information, getting these early frags from players that aren't expecting it. We'll have to see how Faded adapt to this, because if this is something Hadouken do regularly, they'll really need to start watching for flanks like this. It's now been slowed down as well. Hadouken suddenly going very passive, giving Faded all the space that they could want to see if they can work a pick, but in a 2v4, Hadouken doing exactly what they should be. They're not giving up frags by running into a stack of 2 people. Faded doing what little execute they can with only 2 people, but Pineapple in a perfect position to stop it and gets the headshot on Zuko. The refrag nearly came through, leaving him on 2 health, but clean headshot from Pineapple.
Really
very well played by him in the round.
Unfortunate that Faded Esports, two of their members just got caught out in that round.
It is, and a third either disconnected or not quite sure what happened there, but looks like we're going into a pause now to see if and when he comes back. Hopefully it's not too long. Have a look at the money in the meantime. 1,400 on Zuko, 5.5k on Spider. Interesting spread, particularly given Spider's score. He has been dying for most of the round, all but one, so that one round must have been after a buy round. Still going to be a rough buy if they do choose to buy Faded. Meanwhile, Hadouken's starting to stack it. Couple players over 1,000, Lucid over 5,000, nearly 6,000, space on 2.
Hadouken's economy is quite strong right now, but Faded Esports have had more success on the A side of the map than the B side, despite taking B once or twice. So I hope they know that they have seemed to be able to get easy short control quite fast into the round, depending on what happens. That previous round they had the control, but they lost it because of aggressive pushes late. But if they recognize and pick up on that and watch for these pushes, they might be able to hold control and get picks themselves.
You're absolutely right, and that may be the interesting story of the match to watch if Faded are able to adapt to these pushes. There haven't been too many so far, but it did just solo win them that round, combined at least with the AWPer on Faded disconnecting, which is a shame. Hate to see it happen on buy rounds, but now it looks like we're going just into a quick pistol. Couple of upgraded pistols, armor on Zuko, who could afford it. Not sure entirely how they're going to spread the economy. Spider's staying at just near 5,000, so he may be committing to buy that AWP after. But yeah, Zuko is completely committed. No one else has invested so much into that, and not quite sure how much the missing player on Faded actually had before he left, so we'll have to see. The story will unfold though when the game unpauses. If Faded take perhaps a default spread, that might be the best way to start investigating these pushes. Either a default spread trying to hold off anywhere they might be pushing, or a quick execute where there's no time for a push to actually be effective. Either one of those two things might be the way to move forward for Faded, but if they don't spot it, those pushes could be devastating. We've seen already that all the players on Hadouken can be extremely sharp. Not one of them putting out any sorts of shots that don't bespeak about their skill.
When the game unpauses here, they'll hopefully I hope they try and execute on B site with these upgraded pistols, because the last time they tried that, they took the site, and the only thing that stopped them from potentially winning the round was the bomb being left too far back.
Yeah, and that was good from them. We're now seeing Cry coming back into the server, so the unpause should be coming straight after. Cry with 4,800, so they could actually get a reasonable buy if they commit fully. They could get 2 rifles and upgraded pistols, which wouldn't be as bad as it might be. Faded with 2 smokes and quite a bit of flashbangs. Doesn't look like they're going to lean themselves towards any sort of particular utility-based plan here. Maybe just throw a couple smokes on B, rush it out with all those flashbangs. We're seeing the round start now. Quick Molotov to start off shot for any push, and Hadouken have actually read this quite well. There's 4 on B here. or 4 towards B rather, all in quick position to rotate. And they've heard the pistols, they've heard the CZ, and that's a quick push by Lucid to get a first frag, but he gets traded immediately. Pineapple's dinked as well. That's not what they want. That's exactly the way to lose this round. That's 2 players low, and Access with a quick frag while Scruff gets another one on the other side. Perfect from them. And this is very dangerous now for Hadouken. Space Cadets with the pistol is almost favored against the AWP like that, and that's exactly what's happened. Zuko with 2 kills, very important. It's now a 1v1, but will he read this? No, he won't. Pineapple sneaking through, killing him in the back just as he turns away. Unfortunate, but very well played again from Pineapple. Looking for the AWP there, he might actually lose it in the water, which would be quite bad for Hadouken. There's not actually as much money as you'd hope on that team, given that it's 7-1. They can rebuy it easily, but if they lose this round, they'll still be somewhat on the back foot. And Faded with perhaps not ideal economy management. Zuko with his buy, he did do a lot of work in the last round, but look at what he's got to work with. A scout again, and barely any utility. If he had perhaps let someone else drop him, the Deagle kept 700, he might have been able to get more out of it, but we'll still see. We'll still have to see how he does with this scout. Going connector now, and ZKD already with an aggressive push, but he goes down to Cry, and that's what they needed. They needed to do something to start stopping these pushes. If they can punish them early on, Hadouken will surely be scared and afraid to do these pushes. If they're doing that, they'll be hindering their own gaming style. And they might not be familiar with it. Space with a second push through Monster. Monstrous push itself, and he gets the frag on Tej. Stuttering a little bit when he's trying to get the AK. Not sure if the other player is close enough to potentially refrag, but it looks like he'll get out early. And Scruffy getting dinked through the wall. That's a good way to start. Cry just missing the angle on Pineapple over there. But Pineapple getting a kill of his own. Zuko refragging it, however, killing Scruffy in the process. 3v3, these teams we see are very good at trading already. Every time there's a gunfight, it's trades left-right. Faded to get the bomb plant, though. And this is good for them. This is money in the pocket. This is also a timer on the round. Now the onus is on Hadouken to retake. Access with a Molotov as well, which could be exactly what they need to win the round.
If they're not going to pick
and Access with a headshot. That's what they needed. That's the only person who was behind. Access still covering it, using that molly a little early perhaps to deny area, and getting headshot by Lucid immediately. Very sharp from him. Access getting a molly kill after death though. Not sure how that happened. Pineapple with a couple of mistakes in positioning perhaps. And that's another good trade. Zuko picking up the AWP, taking it home, living as the only person to win that round. But in the last 2 rounds, he's actually been incredible for Faded.
I'd like to see Faded try and go towards the B site on one of their buy rounds. Both force buys, they've successfully taken the B site, but they haven't done it on a buy round. Let's see what happens.
I would be interested to see that as well, and it's an interesting dynamic with how you compare force buy success to full buy success. When you've got those pistols, you're able to run around quite a bit more and sort of rush them down a lot more effectively, get a couple headshots with those pistols, whereas with AKs, you sort of have to take it more slowly. So it's not always quite as simple as succeeding on a force buy. You succeed better with more, but that's a quick trade from Space and $900 in the pocket with the Mag 7, and then Spider gets it back. ZKD to go down. Arguably not as favorable for the T's as they would have liked, given that Hadouken is with the lower inventory. They've got less money, and Space peaks at the perfect time just as Spider pulls out an nade to get that kill, picks up an AK. He's pushed down into connector as well. This is a lot of information for him. If they don't rush through that smoke, that's a lot of information. He can cut off the rotations. Cry making his presence a little bit known, but not committing to that, which is arguably a good call. Hanging around a ladder with a shotgun, with an AWP versus an AK or a shotgun, whichever he might be using at the time. Not quite what you'd be looking for. High Tej with a quick spray, partially flashed. Good spray control from him. And an incredible flick from Lucid to land that headshot slightly through the wall, but still fires at the small amount of head that's there. Cry to get the bomb down. Doesn't actually die there, despite being in full view and taking a full spray by Space. Interestingly. But now it's retaken. That's another trade, but Space finishes it off. Not favorable to begin with for Faded. And now Hadouken finish it out. And that's actually very bad for Faded. Faded have just got reset. No loss bonus for them. That's 1400 plus the 800 from the plant. And look at that, everyone hovering around 2500 except Cry.
Hadouken are really strong on their retakes. They're getting aggressive picks and early information, and when they do eventually lose sight, they are really good at retaking them now.
That's absolutely right. Those picks though that we see them do, those are very powerful from them when executed properly. Like we can see Hadouken are doing them right. Particularly that monster one. That one was very impressive from the other round. When they're executed right, they can just be absolutely soul-crushing. Every time you try to set up for an execute, you have to worry about that person. And that's an easy kill for Scruffy. Flash doesn't do much. At that range, it's not going to do very much. His own flash actually being far more effective than any flash faded through. And ZKO chiming in as well to get 2 of his own, maybe a 3rd, and that's it. No armor, very light pistol upgrades. It's all easy. This is just clean up for Hadouken. Too clean at the game to throw away any of this unnecessarily. And ZKD with a 4th, nearly an ace for him. Fine headshot by him at the very end there to wrap it up. And that's starting to build a lot of economy on Hadouken.
Hadouken are their economy is strong enough that they can continue to make these aggressive plays, because if one of them doesn't turn out, they've still got the bank to buy again and again and again.
And Lucid with the read, look at that. He's bought an SMG. He's interested in farming the cash. He does have full utility, so he may not want to go too aggressive early on, but an uncharacteristic miss from Scruffy there early on. Cry full blinded, perhaps outplaying himself a little bit, but he follows it up with a nice snipe right there as Cry tries to leave party. Lucid already pushed short, gets the feet of Tej, and takes him out quite easily. Against armor, that wouldn't have been fantastic, but as it is here, an easy kill for him, and that's 600 in the pocket. Exactly what he wanted with that SMG. And that's another kill going over to Hadouken. Zuko going 1 for 1 there. Scruffy getting another one. Interestingly, Lucid hasn't rushed in to refrag after that. A bit of discipline from him, perhaps. Arguably, buying the SMG was exactly so that you could do things like that, but preferring to keep the armor alive, take the M4, keep it into the next round, and space now the one with the MP5. Still double AWPs though, so very well done by Hadouken to make sure that the rifles and the SMG were the ones that took most of the engagements rather than the AWPs. If those pistols got close, those AWPs would be rather cumbersome.
No one on the B side of the map this time. Oh, there was.
You actually see Scruffy opening up again. Access though with a fantastic headshot on ZKD. Perhaps the aggression, getting a bit overzealous. After they got that opening frag, they continued being pushed up despite having the advantage. They could have just sat back. And now we go into a slower game, a 4v4. They are grouping towards short A, looking like it's going to be an A execute of some sort. Everyone towards short A now. They've completely left the B side. They've spotted Scruffy though, and Tej misses the headshot. That's unfortunate. They really needed as much of that sort of thing as they could get, but he follows up on it, doesn't miss the second opportunity, and he gets another spray as well on space, hiding by truck. And that's the A side open for them, completely open. 2v4, it's one of those rounds where you'd always put it on Faded. Hadouken have been great on their retakes, but this might be just too much. There's too many people watching every angle, and Hadouken have called a save. Very good opening to these first half rounds by Hadouken, but this take from Faded was fantastic.
And whilst Hadouken has enough money to go for this retake, and even if they both die and don't get anything out of it, don't win the round, don't get a kill, that they've still got enough to rebuy, but they're both saving their guns, making their economy stronger, and they're not giving away that $600 kill rewards for both of them. Well, it's 300 each.
An interesting point to mention though is there's only 2 rounds left in the half. There's a question of whether or not saving is actually particularly worth it over doing damage to the enemy team. Right now, the enemy team is going to have everything they need, double ups, full utility, but if they had taken out 2 players there at the expense of their own 2 players, Hadouken would still be buying. They'd still be able to buy and sort of risk having an easier this round. Pineapple opening up with an AWP, we'll come back to that later. Taking the first frag on Cry, which is quite big. Cry has not had the biggest impact this game so far reset since he left. However, There was an opening frag that he got that ended up putting them close to winning that round, I think, and Pineapple with another one through the wall, nearly getting the shot straight through the smoke as well. Zuko surely a little bit upset about that one, to get killed through the wall like that, but a favorable round now for Hadouken, and this might end up being another partial reset. The half won't be long enough for it to actually matter, but still perhaps a little demoralizing for Faded. If they do lose this round, they won't have that much. Looking at the money, there'll be 3 people able to buy an AK full utility and 2 people on a pistol or a Galil.
Faded Esports just aren't getting the picks that they need to be able to safely enter the side here. And
exactly, they're finding opposition from Hadouken, where Hadouken have pushed. Come back to that later. Spider nearly spotting. Uncharacteristic miss from Pineapple in this round. He's already had 2 kills, 2 misses as well, and Spider capitalizes. It's now a 3v3. Bombs going down. The round suddenly blown wide open off the back of those 2 misses by Pineapple. Unfortunate since he started the round so well, but High getting a very long, very conservative position here. Going for that post plant where he can see the bomb, peek only when it's tapped, but it's now a 3v1. Hadouken have come in with those fantastic retakes. And a leg from Tej not able to get the job done, and he's forced into repeaking. He knows he hasn't got that kill, and that defuse could still be going as he repeaks, taken out. Very well retaken by Hadouken. And now look at it, a gun potentially dropped, yeah, for access there, but no utility on him, a UMP on Zuko. That's a lot of damage that was done, and arguably, again, you got to consider the point I made in the other round. The save there might not have been that necessary. There could have been 2 other players here who didn't have armor, but Access starting out with a fantastic headshot, incredible flick from him. Access dying, but Spider getting a kill in the meantime. 4v3, but the health is very far down for a lot of members, and Scruffy with a fantastic shot there, quick as lightning before getting traded. He barely saw the man, barely had the time to click before a bullet entered his skull. But it ended up being perfect, and that's a quick nade on side as well. They're not able to get the bomb down right now. It's got Overwatch from an AWP and a Molly. Molly's run out, but they don't know. They're not quite risking that peak for the AWP just yet. Don't know he's left heaven. ZKD as well, hiding short. Not sure if Spider is aware of this. He's not, and that's an easy kill. 12-3 half by Hadouken. Very fantastic, strong hold from them. Very strong CT side. They've got very good aim. All of them good game sense for when it comes to pushing. We'll have to see how well Faded are able to translate their own skills into that sort of thing, as well as combat Hadouken's aggression. Because if they're skilled at it on CT side, they'll be definitely skilled at it on CT side.
Hadouken's aggressive peaks really they won so many rounds just off these early picks that were just really well-timed pushes and peaks at a few key angles, mainly around connector and like the restrooms area. And as we said before, when they did lose sights, they were so clean, their retakes.
They were very, very strong. It would look like an even or favorable situation for Faded, not that they got the bomb down as often as they would have liked. And then very suddenly, Hadouken would all chime in, get 2 or 3 kills within the span of a couple seconds, and the retake would suddenly be blown wide open. The half beginning just now. We'll have to see how they distribute their players for a pistol round. It's looking like 3B, which is something that I like to see on Overpass. You do have the ability to take more aggressive positions on A, fall back as you see people, but the push has already started. Zuko starting it off well with a headshot. Easy headshot by him. Cry pushing up, trying to take some shots, getting a nice flick after whiffing a couple of shots. Access dying, as well as other players. Trades left and right. High again. It's the retakes. They take as many kills as they can. Pineapple now the last alive. This time a fantastic retake by Faded. Pineapple trying to lurk around, and he gets a quick headshot on High. Aim a little bit too high by Tej there. Not what he was looking for, and he's pulling back. He's not revealing his location. If he had just run straight up short, they would have all known he's there. But now he's taking more passive, and Zuko with a very nice stutter step. Very nice by him. I have to say, Scruffy on the AWP. Pineapple in his own, both on the AWP and not. As well as Zuko on the other team. All of them playing lights out Counter-Strike right now. Access as well. Fantastic kills by him.
If Fadedv Esports keep up these strong retakes, they might be in for a chance here.
An interesting buy here by Hadouken. They've got 4 pistols. 4 pistols for them, as well as a MAC-10. And the Deagle takes the first kill so easily there on Tej. A very nice clean headshot by Space. And that's an MP9. Not the best gun to pick up, but could be better. And another kill there by Scruffy. A body dig this time from the tags that his teammates have done. And another one. That's a 5v2 now. Suddenly, Zuko gets 1 kill, but there's only so much he can do with 4 people looking at him. And it's now all on Spider. Not looking too favourable. That nade goes in, does a tiny bit of damage to Scruffy, but now it's just Spider with his MP9 reloading. Looks like he might end up peeking out as well into someone while it's happening, but yes, it's happened. Just as he's trying to push backwards into Bank, Scruffy comes down. Another Deagle killed by him. Very nicely done there by Hadouken, sorry.
And now Fadedv Esports, they've got to save, and their economy is quite low. They might even have to double save here. So they're going to go for a force buy, but it's 13 rounds in favor of Hadouken. They might not be able to force saving up for the next round.
Exactly. They don't have the time. They don't have the rounds left in the match to save, to full save, to get everything they need. And Overpass is one of those maps where you really need that utility. But now already Hadouken coming in, opening up, Lucid with an MP5 kill, full blind, but still gets the headshot on Spider. Fantastic shot from him. And Tej and Cry coming in with their own pistol kills. Pineapple coming back. There's 2 players low on Hadouken, but look at this by Lucid. Slight trigger discipline there to see if another player comes out. Very well positioned by him. Knows that he's low, doesn't want to take an immediate duel. Tags Cry down to 2. It's looking very dire now for Faded. Runs Heaven as well, repositions. Very nice, smartly done by him. And Lucid to take another head. 4 kills for him in the round with that SMG. Very nicely done.
Ooh, this is where we see if Fadedv Esports decides to save and go for a tie down at 4 rounds, which doesn't seem like a very likely situation, or force into this round.
Yeah, and it's looking like we're going to actually see them playing for overtime here. A valiant idea. Mad respect for being able to have the fortitude to try to play back from potentially a 15-4 deficit. Only Cry and Spider with upgraded pistols here. And you can see Hadouken have kept 2 of the SMGs. It's going to be a dream for them money-wise. Even if they lose the round, they'll surely get a couple kills with those. And Scruffy coming in for the first kill and the second. Pineapple chiming in for that one. A 5v3. The round doesn't look like it's going to end anyway, other than the money would lead you to expect. Cry hoping to try to get a bit of a lurk kill on someone and access. Full blind by his teammate ZKD, gets a kill. Traded immediately though by Pineapple. The numbers are just too great, as well as the money advantage. Just having the guns that don't need 4 or 5 shots to kill. Cry though with the flank, it looks like he will be able to get someone there, and Cry getting Lucid. An easy kill for him, potentially taking that AK and getting out of there. Not sure how he's actually escaped there. No other players were short. Only Pineapple could have potentially refragged. Now it's a 2v2. With players on opposite sides of the side as well. It might be very difficult. Scratch that. It would have been very difficult for Hadouken to get a bomb plant. Either player could peek either side, but now they're planting on that side, and Cry with a fantastic headshot. Quiet earlier in the half, but this time he's having big impact. Great shot on... Not sure who that was. Pineapple, I believe. Jumping up on the box there. Very nicely done, and he's picked up a Molotov as well. Expertly used. Scruffy might even die to it. He may not have time to come around. If Cry had a kit, he could have stuck that. Unfortunately, not landing the shot there on Scruffy. Doesn't know how low he is. Doesn't know he has to rush. If he had just run, he would have made it, but he doesn't have the kit, but he didn't realize it at the time. He will get away with the AK and potentially enhance that overtime dream. Nicely retaken by Faded, given how little they had, but just not enough. And now it's match point for Hadouken. 11 match points ahead of Faded as well. And look at the scoreboard. Pineapple 22 kills, Scruffy 20, Lucid 17. compared to Tej and Access on 12 and 13 themselves. Everyone else hovering around there, not lagging too far behind, but just the impact that those three players, Pineapple, Scruffy, and Lucid, are having, really taking this match into their own hands. Fantastic work by the players on Hadouken. Now Scruffy lining up an early shot, but Cry with a fantastic peek. Lucid refragging on Spider. But very impressive work from Cry. It seems like he's finding his stride. Potentially too late in the match, but very nicely done by him. And now Lucid is low. They might consider trading the AWP on Space to him so that he'll be able to win, but Space, not interested. Picks up an AK for himself after getting that refrag on Zuko. Now a 4v3. Arguably closer to a 3v3 given how low Lucid is, but Pineapple will correct me there and just take an extra player from Faded. So it's looking like a very favorable round for Hadouken. Faded going to need some miracles to keep this one going. They've got one player each site now. They're all grouping up towards A, so we'll have to see how Access has been performing very well for Faded. We'll have to see if he's able to take 2 or 3 of them out and really give his team a chance, but it's not to be. Pineapple takes him out. Cry, half health, an AWP, a CZ, no kit, no utility, and running right into Space Cadet. And that's it. The end of the match. Extremely good CS played there by Hadouken.
They were very clean on that. Very clean on their CT side, and when it came to T side, they were just as clean. No real losses that you shouldn't have expected.
It was very impressive peaking as well on their CT side. They have that aggressive style mastered quite a bit. But that was our only match for the night, at least that we are currently scheduling. So we've been your casters, Malix and Decent. Say bye, Decent.
Bye, Decent.
Thanks for joining us on the Next Gen Broadcasting stream. See you next time.